Kanye West's surprise court appearance sparks shocking claims. Sean Deal drops bombshell allegations about Diddy. Kim and Marif, you thought the drama around Diddy's court case couldn't get any messier. Think again. Out of nowhere, Kanye West showed up at the trial, and now things have gone from strange to downright explosive. Even the internet didn't see this one coming. Kanye, who once called Diddy a government informant, is suddenly standing by his side. That's weird enough, but now Gene Deal, a man who's been close to Diddy for years, is revealing disturbing claims involving Kanye.
In the middle. Kanye West. No, Kanye. Kanye. Happy to see you. Yeah.
Kim Kardashian, powerful politicians, even religious leaders. Let's break down all the twists and turns in this wild story. Because what's being said now could change everything we thought. We knew about some of the most famous names in the world. Who is Gene Deal and why should we listen? Gene Deal isn't just some random person throwing around rumors. He was Diddy's former bodyguard and has been speaking up more and more as the investigation into Diddy deepens. Most recently, Gene appeared on the Art of Dialogue podcast and dropped multiple serious claims, some involving Kanye West, some involving Diddy, and others that go beyond the world of celebrity and into politics and religion. People are paying attention because Gene's timing seems intentional. He's speaking up right when Diddy's legal troubles are peaking and just when Kanye showed up at court, stirring even more confusion. So
Jane went to Vegas and she was invited by allegedly Kanye West and his wife and them and everything like that. And they went to plays, they went to show, they went out to eat and everything. And then later on that night, they went to a hotel room. Whereas there's some other couples in there too and some other people. And there wasn't a freak off, but it was one of the guys who does the freak off with her there, and they were all sitting around watching and drinking while this guy was having sex with another sex worker or whatever like that, and while all them just watching him have sex.
What exactly is Gene saying, and why is Kanye suddenly so involved? Kanye's court visit raises eyebrows.
They didn't say his name, but they said his name because it was an objection done. You know how they do, objection, overrule, all this other stuff like that. So they said it was a rapper who's married. They gave a description of it, and it pointed straight to Kanye. And then it so happened the next day he goes up in the court.
Kanye West was spotted entering the courthouse where Diddy's trial is happening. At first, people assumed it was just coincidence, or maybe a PR stunt. But then, things got suspicious. A woman testifying under the name Jane Doe mentioned a story about a married rapper involved in a questionable incident in Las Vegas. She didn't say
Kanye West is paying sex workers to have sex in front of him and his friends. Ain't that sex trafficking? But it was done in Vegas. I think it may be legal in Vegas though.
Kanye's name out loud due to a legal objection, but the details she gave clearly pointed in his direction. She described a situation involving Kanye and his wife in a hotel room with other couples. They were allegedly taking part in something much more than just a party. Right after this testimony, Kanye made his appearance. But he didn't come alone. He brought his gospel choir, who performed outside the building. It looked like a show of support for Diddy, that same Diddy whom Kanye once called a Fed. It was such a strange twist. People couldn't stop asking, why is Kanye backing someone he used to attack? Gene Deal
was somewhat of a protege of Diddy's back in the day, even though he was working with, what you call that motherfucker, Rockefeller, whatever that was, Rockefeller. Even though he was working with their ass, he was a protege of Diddy. He liked what Diddy did and everything like that.
the alleged Kim introduction that changes everything.
Was the one probably introduced him to Kim Kardashian, if I'm not mistaken. I think Puff had something to do with him getting with Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? Because she used to mess with a couple of dudes, a dude from BMF first, and she was around. So I would presume that Kim and Kanye West was all right back in the day. And then when they started getting money and they started going at each other and stuff like that, and then Kanye fell out with the Kardashians, and none of the people that he thought was supposed to be
Kanye to Diddy's dark parties, Gene Deal says. He knows exactly why Kanye is standing by Diddy on. It has nothing to do with loyalty. According to Gene, Kanye is trying to protect himself. Let's rewind. Gene says that Kanye didn't just attend Diddy's parties, he hosted his own. And not your average Hollywood party. We're talking about freak-off events. Gene describes them as private, invitingly get-togethers in hotel rooms where couples, celebrities, and even adult workers were allegedly involved in explicit group activities. Gene specifically refers to the Vegas incident mentioned by Jane Doe. She said she attended one of these events with Kanye and his wife.
Look at the fact that government may come after him. So he may become an ally of Diddy's, but everybody that's gonna be around him gonna go down, man. This is crazy, man. You gotta realize that he has no way out of this, bro. He has no way out of this. It either have to be a mistrial, or if it's a mistrial, they still go back to the drawing board. You understand? That don't mean he gets out of jail. They just do another trial date.
Gene also thinks having Kanye support Diddy is terrible strategy, given Kanye's controversial statements about Jewish people.
Jurors, if you know anything about the jury and having Kanye to support you, I don't even think that's a good thing. But maybe they think it is. It's gonna, throw something, some kind of public opinion Diddy's way. It's stupid. That would be one of the last persons I would have coming up there to support me, knowing his relationship with the Jewish population.
He had politicians in there, princes, preachers, and they got tapes. If that's true, we're talking about a potential global scandal. Think about it. Politicians who make laws, royals who represent nations, and religious figures who preach about morality, allegedly caught on video doing things that are not just unethical, but possibly criminal. This is no longer just about Diddy or Kanye. It's about a system of power and silence, where people protect each other not because they're friends, because they all have something to lose. Why it matters whether Gene Deal is telling the truth or just stirring up drama. Its claims are being taken seriously enough to be discussed alongside a federal investigation. That's important, and Kanye's behavior. It's raising eyebrows for good reason. From calling Diddy a snitch to suddenly showing up at his trial with a choir. The shift is too drastic to ignore. Is Kanye genuinely trying to support a friend, or is he trying to protect himself from going down next? Final thoughts. This situation is developing fast, and it feels like every day brings another bombshell. Gene Deal's claims paint a picture of a much darker world behind the red carpets and award shows, a world where power, secrets, and silence rule everything. If what he's saying is true, we're looking at a scandal that could rock not just Hollywood, but governments and institutions around the world. Kanye's court appearance may seem strange on the surface, but according to Gene, it makes perfect sense. You know what's really at stake? So what do you think? Is Gene Deal exposing the truth about Hollywood's dark secrets, or is this just another overblown conspiracy? Do you believe Kanye is there to help a friend or protect himself? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over, and it might be bigger than any of us imagined. where multiple people allegedly watched sex acts performed by a worker. This is not just a gossip column headline. It's a serious accusation that could carry legal consequences. Could federal crimes be involved? During the interview, Jean questions whether these events could cross into criminal territory, especially if adult workers were involved without clear consent or under coercion. Jean assumed it happened in Las Vegas and thought that might make it legal, but a viewer corrected him. Prostitution is illegal in Las Vegas, since it falls under Clark County, where sex work isn't allowed. So if these allegations are true, and if sex trafficking or unlawful acts happened in those rooms, we're no longer talking about shady parties, we're talking about possible federal crimes. And that's where things start to look very serious for Kanye Diddy. And anyone else who is present at these gatherings. The Kim Kardashian twist just when you think it can't get crazier. Jean throws Kim Kardashian's name into the mix. He says that it was Diddy who introduced Kanye to Kim years ago. Not a fashion event, not through mutual friends, but allegedly at one of Diddy's private parties. According to Jean, this wasn't a random introduction. It was part of a much deeper connection between Kanye and Diddy that stretches back to the early 2000s. If what Jean says is true, then the entire love story between Kim and Kanye, the one we've all seen unfold over the years, may not have started as innocently as we thought. It wasn't some glamorous celebrity meeting. Jean claims it began in a much darker setting, and that changes the narrative of their whole relationship. Is Kanye trying to save himself? Jean Deal doesn't think Kanye is showing up to court out of friendship. He believes Kanye is terrified that he's only there to keep his own secrets hidden. Jean suggests that Kanye is featured in the same tapes that could potentially take Diddy down. These alleged recordings, according to Jean, show well-known people involved in illegal or deeply inappropriate behavior. Kanye. He might be in some of them. In Jean's words, Kanye's court appearance isn't a show of support, it's damage control. Diddy goes down and starts handing over evidence, Kanye could be next. So by publicly siding with Diddy, he may be trying to prevent those tapes from ever being released. That Free Puff t-shirt is not a fashion statement. You saw Kanye wearing a Free Puff shirt recently. You might have thought it was a bold message of support. But Jean thinks it's just more smoke and mirrors. Think about it. Kanye once insulted Diddy, even implying he worked with law enforcement. Now he's making merchandise to support him. Jean calls this a sign of fear, not friendship. He says Kanye knows what's at stake if those alleged tapes surface. And he's doing everything he can to stay on Diddy's good side. Politicians, royals, and religious leaders. If you're thinking this all sounds like a celebrity soap opera, hold on. Jean Deal says this goes way beyond Hollywood. In his interview, Jean claims that Diddy didn't just party with musicians and models. He says Diddy has tapes of high-level figures, including politicians.